Hello, 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 everyone, and welcome to this weekly broadcast from the heart, our global heart meditation and chat. Welcome, Mary. Welcome, Cindy. Welcome, Amanda. Those of you who are joining us just now. Hello from Maryland. Hello from Granada. Greetings from the beautiful city of Granada. It's a very spring-like day. It's been kind of rainy since the day woke up, since I woke up the day rather, and had a very productive day. How about you? How are you? How's your day going so far? Where are you in the world? I can't help but past 30 minutes or so, I've been very reflective. I've been thinking a lot about where I was a year ago, back in the beginning of March last year, right when there was this thing called COVID that apparently was starting to enter every country in the world, and international flights were being canceled. And we were waking up to what was really began to show up as some kind of a new awakening, huh? A new awakening. It was waking us up from our past reality, our past way of being in the world, to what became a quarantine or some form of confinement, and then eventually a lockdown that continues in many parts of the world. So let me ask you, when you think about where you were exactly a year ago today, so today it's March 3rd, so March 3rd, 2020, can you remember where you were? Can you also remember what was going on in your life at that time? What were you worried about? What kept you up at nights, worrying, feeling anxious about? Do you remember? And I remember at that time, my nephew, Gabriel, had just decided to come spend a month or so with me. And he arrived just 3 days before the lockdown, basically. And so he only got to experience Granada for 2 days, and then we were locked down in the very same studio for 2 months. I lived with him literally in the creative space. Me sleeping on the couch and him sleeping on a little sort of mattress on the floor. It was pretty wild. It was also a really beautiful experience because we had not seen each other in a very long time. What were you doing? What were you worried about? Hello from Holland. Hello, Karine. Hello, Solly. Hello, Irish. Irish, I've missed seeing you. You've been homeless and broke. Oh, you were homeless and broke back that time. Yeah, no, I remember. I remember that. But you know what's really interesting is that had it not been for that, we would not be here right now, meeting in this space. And the reason for that is because as I started noticing that this lockdown last year began to perpetuate itself, people were feeling confined and began to feel the need of creating a space where we could come together and unify our hearts and meditate together. And that was really the birth of these global heart meditations that were born last year at around this time. And at the very beginning, it was just a very small group, and primarily the small group of the what was called at that time the Academy for Applied Heart Intelligence. It's now called the Heart Leader Academy. So look at all the changes, even that changed its name. Yeah. And so that's how it began. It began just as me reaching out to the small community that I've been holding space for the past few years of my clients and students, and then just opening it up to anybody that wanted to feel more connected. And then we began to meet every week, and until the time came where it just felt like the natural step was to actually start doing the live broadcast instead, opening it up to more people in different parts of the world, the planet. And so that's how this began. So had it not been for everything that's been happening since March all the way up until now, we would not be here growing together, meditating together, unifying our hearts, healing together, praying together, and experiencing our heart connection. Yeah. Isn't this Trinidad says she was worried about her acting career and should you continue or not? Yeah. Yeah. You're welcome, Anne Marie. Yes, that's how this began. So some of the names that you hear me sometimes mentioning are part of that initial group. Mary, Anna Maria, Irish in Cyprus, Kim, and several of you. Priska. Oh my goodness, there's so many of you. Mariette, Kelly. My goodness, it was a really beautiful, beautiful way to move or to ease into this time together. Now, let me ask you another question. Since I got you thinking about what was happening in your world and where were you at exactly a year ago and what were you worried about? Let me ask you, was it worth it worrying so much about everything that was happening? Wasn't it in so many ways an absolute waste of energy? Because here we are a year later, we made it through. Things have worked out, and yes, it hasn't been easy. I know many of us have experienced a sense of a death. Like part of us has died. Yet at the same time, with every death, there's also a new birth, a new beginning. So many of us are now starting to walk into our new bodies and into the next stage of our lives, are starting to get a taste of what that newfound freedom or sense of creativity or greater abundance and prosperity feels like and look like. Even though we're not quite there yet, right? As we were speaking about, I think it was last week or the week before last, I can't remember. Sometimes we're navigating these two dimensions at the same time, right? Many of us still find ourselves kind of with one foot in one stage of our lives and the other foot in the other one, and we're kind of our genitals are hanging in the middle. We're feeling exposed. I couldn't come up with a better metaphor, but that's really how it feels sometimes. Sense of uncertainty, vulnerability. That's what a trapeze artist feels when he or she lets go of one trapeze, and then there's like split moment in the air between the two trapezes until the next one finally arrives and you can feel it, right? And then finally there's a grip around it. So many of us are in that stage where we have let go of the trapeze and we're in the air and we're feeling exposed, vulnerable, confused, wondering, oh my God, did I make the right decision? Some of us feeling very certain that we've made the right decision. Yet by force of, I forgot what the name of the force is. It's a physical force. I forgot what it's called. But anyway, it's the movement of an object through space. So we're moving forward, right, towards the trapeze. And some of us can see the trapeze. For some of us, we can see the trapeze is very far still out and we're still being propelled forward. Some of us can are so close to the trapeze we can smell it, can almost touch it, but we can't quite grab it yet. And some of us are already, the trapeze is like right here, touching, and we just still haven't been able to grab it yet. And so do not despair. Just like all that worry, all that fear was unnecessary. Any sense of worry and fear about towards where you're headed is also unnecessary right now. What's really required is a deeper sense of surrender, surrender, letting go of your attachment to specific outcomes, to how, when, with whom, and continue to allow the divine force that moved you forward, that propelled you into this new stage, into this change, to continue to surrender towards that forward movement and let go of what no longer belongs to you, relationships that no longer belong to you, situations, jobs that don't belong to you. Okay, we have to, in so many ways, go through a period of detoxing, cleansing. And in the Ascended Master tradition, there is a term that I love that Elizabeth Clare Prophet uses. She calls it, we have to let go of the spirals of disintegration. So think of it as the neuro pathways that have been carved out, the things that we've grown used to that become second nature. That has to be surrendered. We have to let go of that so that the new spirals of integration, new habits, new skills, new neural pathways can be carved out of which then the new will emerge. And so that's the work ahead. I was having a conversation earlier today with a client about what it means to surrender. And the question that he, in essence, was asking me was, Gabriel, how do you surrender? I don't want to surrender because I feel like if I surrender, I'm giving up. No. Surrender is not giving up. It's letting go of your need to control the process. It's letting go of your attachment to how things should work out or when should things work out. But it also requires that you continue to take the necessary actions that will get you there. So just because you're surrendering something doesn't mean that you're just going to stay at home in your bed and wait for things to happen. No. Think of it as a farmer that goes out and plows the field, plants some seeds. Once the seeds have been planted, the farmer doesn't go out there and sit down waiting for the seeds to sprout and begin to grow roots and starts telling the roots how to do their job, how to grow down, and leaves you must stretch up to the sun. No, like it just knows that something is already by design, designed to do what it was designed to do. So are you. Within you, there's a divine intelligence, which is your Holy Christ self, that knows exactly what you need to be doing. What are those actions? What are the skills you need to develop right now? If you only gave yourself permission to truly be still and know and connect and remember and listen to that part of you that I believe you access through the heart. Physical heart, which connects you to the emotional heart, which connects you to the spiritual heart. That is the sequence in many ways. That's why we always begin by placing a hand over the heart, feeling into the heart, connecting with the emotion, and then letting go of the emotion so that then we can enter into the vibration, the energy, the spiritual heart, the energetic heart. So surrendering, think of it as, it's not necessarily something you actually do, but it's more of an attitude. It's an attitude of how you do things. And today, what I'd like to do is I want to share with you some tips during this guided meditation on how you can surrender by helping you build the awareness muscle of what surrender feels like in the body. All right? Because surrender, again, is an attitude. It's not something you actually do. It has to do more with how you do something. All right. So let's prime up the physical body, the emotional memory, the physical sensory memory for our meditation by gently closing our eyes. And as you close your eyes, I want you to play a game with me, a make-believe kind of a game. Imagine, if you will, that you are now in your bed and it's late at night. You've had a long day. You went to the bank, you spoke with people, you did those things that you normally do, and you're now exhausted, you're tired. There are plenty of things to worry about. There were things that did not get done during the day. But you know the day has come to the end, that there's nothing else that you can do, right? And you're taking a nice hot shower, and now you're laying there in bed. And you're saying to yourself, you can just relax now and let it all go. And slowly begin to give my body permission to relax, because I know in a few moments, when I least expect it, I am going to be to feel into that space when you know the inevitable is going to happen. You're going to fall asleep sooner or later. You cannot control the exact moment or when and exactly how, right? None of us is ever aware of the moment, the exact moment when we actually fall asleep. We're aware of the moment something wakes us up, but not the exact moment of falling asleep. Bring yourself there. For the next few moments, just in silence, feel into that feeling when you're laying in bed and you're now ready to let it all go. Notice what this feels like in the body. Allow the face muscles to relax, the jaw to relax, the neck, the shoulders. Little by little, the body relaxes. Little by little, the thoughts become slower. Little by little, you let go of the need to control and you surrender. As you're laying there, you find yourself saying one last prayer. And you say, "Dear God, into thy arms I surrender my life. my body, my spirit. Into that heart, I surrender all my dreams and aspirations. I surrender it all unto you and I let it go. Amen. This feeling right now, this attitude, this is the attitude of surrendering. This is what is meant by let go and let God. Tomorrow you will wake up and you will do again what you feel called to do, what you know you must do. But right now, you let it all go. Knowing that as you let go, something wonderful is happening. The divine within you is replenishing, restoring your physical body, resetting your emotional system. The body detoxing, the psyche, the mind processing, cleansing, organizing. And all of this because you surrender. Because see, there are certain things that can only happen when we are in a state or an attitude of surrender. It cannot happen while we're trying to be in control or dictate. The same intelligence that is beating your heart is the same intelligence that is keeping all planets in their orbits. You allow yourself to be like a planet that is on its orbit, knowing that something bigger than it is what keeps him going. That is what surrender feels like. So I invite you to maintain this attitude of surrender. So you allow me to speak the following prayer on your behalf, and then we move into the deeper awareness of what it means to be in an absolute state of surrender into the heart of God. In the name of the Father, the Mother, the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. In the name of Jesus the Christ and the Sacred Heart of Mother Mary, our universal Mother. In the name of the entire hierarchy of the archangels, the entire spirit of the great white brotherhood, World Mother, elemental life, earth, wind, fire, and water. I call forth now the purity from the heart of God to seal and surround every person here present today and anyone who is listening to this. May the purity from God's own heart surrounds us, seal us, protect us from all forms of discord sent to us, within us, and all around us. Speaking on everyone's behalf, I declare I am the purity in the heart of God. And I am one with the infinite loving intelligence that orders, guides, and directs all of life. I am the divine presence of love in the flesh, harmonizing my heart and my mind, restoring every cell, every organ, every function, every atom, restoring, replenishing my physical body, my emotional body, my mental body, my energetic and spiritual body. I am the living presence of love. I am the Holy Christ Self, fully inhabited my four lower bodies, until only the Christ and only the Christ remains in me. For this awareness, for this realization, I give thanks and I let it be, knowing that it is so right here and right now in full power, in full force. Amen. For the next few moments, maintain this awareness of surrender as if the last few moments before you fall asleep. The only thing we're going to do different now is we're going to now intentionally begin to breathe in and out of the heart, energizing the center, energizing the core. As thoughts arise, just simply surrender them by allowing them to be part of the experience. If any physical sensation arises, surrender it by allowing it to be a part of the experience. If an emotion, feeling arises, again, surrender it by allowing it to be part of the experience. Surrendering is allowing. Allowing is surrendering. Dear Father, Abba, into thy hands we commend our spirit. And into our hearts, we receive your love. Into thy hands, I command my spirit. Into my heart, I receive your love. Into thy hands, I command my spirit. Into my heart, I receive your love. Into thy hands, I command my spirit. Into my heart, I receive your love. This is the universal dance of giving and receiving. I give our Heavenly Father, our Mother, we give them the control. And we receive the nurturance and the love, the wisdom, the guidance. The next few moments in the stillness of your heart, allow these two movements within your heart. Our scientists call it systoles and diastoles. They are in essence a masculine and a feminine movement, an expansion and a contraction, a giving and a receiving. Let that be the attitude of surrendering. Into thy hands I command my spirit, and into my heart I receive your love. This is the prayer of surrender. You cannot give something to God without gaining something back. Surrendering that which you have no control over, which does not belong to you or no longer serves you, allows you to create space so that you can welcome what is yours by divine right. Knowing that nothing and no one can keep you from experiencing the true love, the abundance, the prosperity, the wholeness that the divine Christ within you is worthy of. Maybe the human within you does not feel worthy of love, new relationship, career that is better expression of who you are. Maybe you feel you're not worthy, not good enough, too old, too fat, too whatever. Within you, there's a divine part of you which is your holy Christ self, that knows that it knows that it knows that you are worthy. So that you can, in essence, say, the Christ within me is worthy of success. The Christ within me is worthy. Maybe I don't feel worthy of it, but the Christ within me, the divine part within me is worthy of it. I surrender the human self, the egoic self, the programmable self, the false self, the personality, which is the byproduct of our upbringing, our culture, family dynamics, our programming. Let it all go and rest in the absolute knowing. The Christ within us is worthy of all of that, which we seek to experience and know. So therefore we surrender so that we can then be still and know and remember. Be still and know. Be still in your heart and know. Beloved mighty I am presence in the heart of God, beloved Holy Christ self. Beloved I am presence and Holy Christ self of everyone here present today. We call for the vibration of surrender to seal and surround every son and daughter of God upon this planet. That we may, as humanity, move forward in the next direction of our unfoldment, our evolution, our expansion. That we may gather the necessary courage to let go of all of that which no longer serves us individually and collectively. That a greater awareness of our oneness with God and the living Christ within each and every one of us may arise upon this planet. May our joined heart create an expanded field of Christed energy, Christ consciousness energy that lifts the planet, creating a new path, a new way for humanity that is in greater alignment with who we are becoming in the next stage of our unfoldment. For this, I give thanks on behalf of everyone here, declaring it done here and now with ease and with joy. All of this according to God's will, that God may be glorified up in the highest, in the heavens, as well as in the depth of every human heart. For this, I am infinitely grateful and thankful, and I let it be. And so it is, and it is so. Amen. Now, some of you, it's very, very likely that as you were experiencing this feeling of surrendering and remembering what it feels like to lay in your bed late at night, chances are you probably fell asleep. If you did, know that it's all really good. In fact, wonderful things happen while you are asleep. That means that you know how to surrender. So if there is a situation in your life that you know could really benefit from you surrendering, letting go of the need to control, letting go of the attachment to the outcome. Now you have a very powerful technique, but more importantly, you have an in-the-body experience of what surrender feels like. Now your job is to cultivate it. Because remember, surrendering. It's not something that you do. It's more of a way of being. It's more of an attitude. All right. I hope you have enjoyed today's guided meditations. Let me look at some of the comments. Catherine says, thank you, thank you, thank you. Catherine, once was more than enough, really. But no, it's actually, I'm really glad because I don't have my glasses on. So the computer, the monitor is a little far. So the fact that you said it so many times made it easier to recognize the words. Great. How are you guys feeling? You feel more connected? Will you take this feeling with you of surrender? Wherever you go, into your next appointment, into your next activity, whatever that may be. Now that you know what it feels like, and remembering that surrendering again, it's an attitude, it's a way of being rather than something that you do. So if after this you're going to go for a walk, then just surrender to the walk. Be willing to be present. Surrendering is another word for being fully present in the moment. Remember that God is not a person. God is a presence. And so God does not live in the future nor the past. Ours is a living God. It only exists in the present moment. Past and future only exists as a fabrication of the mind. So when you surrender to God, inevitably you are surrendering to the present moment. You're enjoying the presence of God. That's what it's all about, ultimately. So thank you very much for lending me your hearts, your ears. I hope you're feeling much better, more connected, more relaxed. Light of heart, says Karen, Cindy, you're very welcome. Cindy, you're welcome. Kelly, lovely to see you here, love. Catherine. All right, wonderful. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for being with me today. Wish you a fantastic rest of the day, rest of the week. Remember to be loving, caring, compassionate towards yourself so that you can do the same thing for others. I look forward to connecting with you again very soon. And until then, I send you all my love from my heart to yours. Bye-bye for now.